Hey, Lynn.
Hi. Hi,
Thanks for
everybody.
thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, can you tell us, why you joined the Plant Priestess Circle?
I can definitely do that very easily. For me, it's always been my path. And since I was a little girl, I would sit in the backyard under the willow trees. I would sit at our camp. I would sit on walks in the woods with my dad or my mom and just feel like I was at home more in nature than I was in my own bedroom in my parents' house. So for me, it's just always been a path, but it was a solitary path. It was a path that wasn't accepted by a lot of other people because they didn't understand it. When I talked about spirit and feeling spirit in the trees and hearing spirit and wanting to hear the wind blow and it would and the rain come down because it sounded more like music to me than music did. It was like, okay, Lynn, you're weird. We don't want to talk to you anymore. So it's like, all right, that's fine. That's fine. You don't have to. But I was always just more at one in nature. And my husband and I have been together for years and years and years. And he now also walks the same path as I do. I grew up in a Catholic family, which was perfectly fine. My mom's here. I'll probably get yelled at for, you know, why'd you say you grew up in a Catholic family like it's a bad thing? It's not a bad thing, but it's also not what I wanted. Nature is my church. So that's where I feel at home. And when I found you, Erin, on Facebook, because I'm always searching, I was always searching for something. Something was missing. And it was the community. You can only learn so much by yourself. And then after a while, it's like you feel like you're repetitively learning the same things. The books that you get from Barnes and Noble or at the library, you don't know your scope of knowledge until somebody sits you down and says, "Oh, here's our library," or "Here's our e-courses." You don't know what you can learn because it's not presented to you yet. So when I found you on Facebook and I just clicked on the link, it felt right. And I went to the workshop, the very first workshop, and this is my third one because I'm addicted to them and I come every single time. And I said to my husband, "This is something I really want to do." And he said, "Then do it. Don't, you know, you'll be upset with yourself if you just don't do it." Because I was always afraid to take that step. It was a trust thing for me. It's like, do
Hmm.
I really want to open myself up to ridicule or, not realizing what I was, until I met you guys, what I was getting into, because you don't want to join a community and feel like you're by yourself still. When I joined the circle, the Plant Priestess Circle, it was like, okay, now I'm home. Now I'm home. Like this is an etched part of my world, my path, and I love getting into the library, being able to look around. I love the e-courses. I love
Oh no! Oh,
courses. I just love it all.
you're cutting out there, Lynn. Too much energies, too much love coming. Yeah, Lynn, that's so great that I'll just talk while she gets situated here. That she said that, when you join something like that, and I've joined things as well, is like, am I going to get in there and it's just going to be, like e-courses and I'm back to all by myself, or how involved are people? And I would say that, there's always a core group of people that are very much involved and show up on lives and do replays. And then sometimes things happen and they kind of go silent a little bit. They're there. They say, hey, I'm still doing things, but I still, things have come up in my life. I'm still watching replays, but I'm just not there in person as much virtually. And then, they come back when things get better a little bit. And so, it's good. You don't have to like be 100% at every single live lesson that we have weekly, but it's certainly an option. And definitely people love to do the replays when it's available to them. So let's see. Lynn, are you still there? Nope, she's still on, but let's see here. See if I'm getting a message from her. So yeah, that's really cool that she said that. We can't hear you, Lynn. We can't see you, but it looks like you're here. You may want to jump out and come back in. That might be an option. Let's see. She said something else that was really cool. The trust factor. And that's why I always ask, say to people, go ahead and get on a phone call with me. I'm certainly willing to talk with you.
Huh?
Oh, there you are. I can hear you.
Yay!
I can see you.
I'm back. I'm sorry. It's really raining, so my router might be coming in and out. So I'll try to calm down on the love talk. It's nature saying, yes, you're here. But for anybody wondering if joining the Plant Priestess Circle is something that you want to do, when you're talking to somebody that like me, that was never a massive student at things or didn't have much of a drive to want to pick up like a library of books and read the library of books, trust me, you're going to feel welcome. You're going to feel like you have people that you can depend on at any time of day or night to say, hey, I'm not feeling well and I'm not sure what to take. What has anybody else ever used to maybe have an herbal tea or a tincture? I didn't even know what a tincture was until I joined the Plant Priestess Circle. So it's all about community. It's important to feel accepted and to feel that strength, that inner strength, that bond with other people instead of only nature. You definitely need the balance. I think it's all about balance for me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was talking to somebody on the phone and I was like, nature's great and so are people and I need both. And for me, I'm not an introvert or an extrovert. They call me an ambivert because I need both. I can't just be by myself for endless hours. It's good and I love to do that, but I also then I'm like, all right, I need to find somebody to just explain what the hell just happened in my head here and what happened
Yeah,
in nature.
exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. And I think I'm the same way. I do love this because I'm able to join live or I'm able to do a replay because life still happens. And I love that you're able to give us the choice to either go live, watch your live hour long sessions, 20-minute long sessions, the mini lessons, or go back later in the day or the next day to see what we've missed if we weren't able to be there. That makes a big difference because life is crazy. I have a grandson that keeps me running and there's days where I'm not able to be there. So it still makes you feel like, okay, I'm there in spirit. And I don't think that there's a lot of being an empath. I don't think that there's a lot of people that feel like most of us feel. We feel everybody's energy, most of us. And sitting in a classroom and not being able to have this access constantly 24/7, you kind of lose that drive when you walk out of the classroom. This, you can pick up your phone or your laptop and it's always there and you see a face all the time. Your friendly face all the time. It's like, there's my girl. I'm going to sit down and do some work. So it's all good. And I love the payment plan. I heard you talking about that. I do PayPal and it's so easy.
Yeah, you don't have to think about paying. I don't have to think about, I have to go check to make sure people are paying, but it's easy on all of us so that I can spend more time making lessons and things like that. Has there been anything that's changed with you since joining the Plant Priestess Circle that you weren't even aware needed changing or wanting change?
Yes. I have more inner strength now to have a voice with my family, believe it or not. I feel like I can calmly talk to them. And my husband's Italian, I'm Greek. So it's like, whenever there are big family blowouts or whatever, it's like I can sit down and say, okay, we need to be calm. Like it's without feeling like everybody is saying, oh, do you want to break out the incense, Lynn? Do you want to relax? Should we all, sit and relax with you? It's like, no, guys, we got to chat this out. That changes. Like my inner strength has changed. And I have to tell you, my inner peace has changed. It really has. My peace of mind, my peace of soul has just calmed down for myself. I have high anxiety and I always try to do for everybody. And the other thing that has changed for me is I'm finally doing something for myself at 51 years old, because it was always try to fit me in somewhere. Where do I fit? And now I know exactly where I fit. I fit right here. And that is huge for me because I'm not a big people person. So for me, it's nice to, Trelene and there's a few people on here that I'm always like, oh, hi, because it's almost like you're sitting together having coffee, because you're able to see the same names come across in the circle. Or when we go live in Zoom, you're able to see those faces. And that's huge. It makes you more comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the biggest thing that has changed for me is my strength and my confidence in myself, that yes, you're not alone. And when you talk about spirit, and when you talk about practicing your path, you have people that say, oh yes, and this is how I did this, and it's like, oh, I'm going to try that too.
Mm-hmm.
It there's not one way to do things. It's everybody's recipe, and we just have to put it together and see how we turn out. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing how you mentioned, like, once you get yourself on, put yourself first. We always think like if we do that, then we're going to not help as many people, but in fact we can actually do it a little bit more efficiently and effectively once we get in a good place. I know that I can. Most people think I'm the calmest person ever. Erin, you're so calm. I'm like, yeah, but I also have some loud voices, like when the kids and the cats are all
Yeah.
crazy around me too. I am a real person. I have not mastered everything, and I'm learning from all the people in the Plant Priestess Circle just as much. So,
Exactly. And that's the biggest, that is huge. Like you said it from the very beginning. I could have made a million excuses to not join. I could have made another excuse. Like, let's make another excuse to not put me first. The husband, 4 kids, a grandson, my mother, my sisters, my whoever's. It's like, okay, you've done that all your life, and it almost turns into a hamster wheel. And I don't want to resent anyone for me not taking control of my own life and doing what I need to do for myself. There comes a
that
point where, yeah, you have to
that
take responsibility for your happiness.
that makes me teary-eyed. My mother, when she was passing away at 53, I got to be with her as she transitioned, and that's exactly the what I felt when that
Yeah.
was happening, because she had a traumatic life, and it
Oh,
she did not respond well to it through her life. And I thought to myself, it's too bad that the trauma got to her so much, because she's a beautiful person and it just kind of ate her up. And I just like vowed to myself that I wouldn't allow that to happen to me, as a gift to her and as a gift to myself. So,
that's that's really awesome that you were able to take whatever could have been traumatic for her and turn it into something peaceful, because then her spirit is with you and she can feel that peace too. And that is a beautiful thing. It is. And I'm closer to my family that has passed than the ones running around my house right now that you can't see, that want to get in this door. And I'm like, stay out for an hour, get an hour. But I know, like I said, I was brought up in a Catholic family. When my dad was passing, he moved in with us. And, I got him his rosaries. The priest would come and see him, especially when he was in hospice. But, the one thing that he came to me for that really, it changed my world, was he said, can you get that stuff you're always blowing around the house? And he says, it makes me feel better. He's like, it makes me feel better when I see you doing that. And because he always made fun of me, but once he knew he was going into the next home, into heaven, he said, can you do that? Because I feel peaceful when you do that. So I did it every single day for him for a year, every day until he passed. And he loved it. He loved it. I could see it in his eyes. He couldn't talk anymore. You could just see it.
yeah.
So it's all about that for me. I want that for my family and for myself. So
Sometimes people don't realize what gifts we have until they need them.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. Because for me, I grew up in a house full of nurses. Like everybody was a nurse. And I loved that. I thought it was awesome. I worked in a hospital and ICU for 10 years. I was not a nurse, but I was tech. And I loved that's kind of where I am with all this when we talked about the medical end of the world and then the herbal end of it. You have to marry both because we need both. And it's just what it is. Too much of one thing, like too much of one prescription is too much. Too much of one herb is too much. If you have both, you have that balance. You go right back to it. It's full circle.
Yeah.
So that's really and truly where I'm at with it. And my husband, he hand fasted. Well, we hand fast every year, but the first time that he hand fasted with me, I said to him, if you're, and I don't want to offend anybody at all, but especially with the hand fasting part, but I said to my family, if you are not comfortable coming, it's fine. I would love to have my family there, but if, I understand. And do you know, they all came. My dad couldn't even walk anymore, and my son carried him because we were on the beach. So he carried him, and I can't ask for more in my life. Like that's beautiful. And it all comes from this path. And now that I've been a part of the plant priestess circle, I just know I'm going to keep growing from it, and I'm going to keep learning, and I'm going to keep shopping botanical shops, and I'm going to keep harvesting when I can, out from the earth myself during spring, summer, and fall. And it feels good to give back to the earth. And that's something that is missing from so many people in the world. They're missing their own spirit. And we're not. We're very grounded on the women and the women, the men that we are. And that's what it is. Your spirit, your soul, your connection. And my husband and I, we ride, he rides Harley. I'm in the back listening to music, relaxing, but Fleetwood Mac's on, and I am just in my glory looking up at the trees. And I've always had this vision of Native Americans in the trees as we're whizzing past on the bike. And I know that that might sound weird, but it's a true vision. I feel like I can just look in there and see them, and the respect that I have for everything that they've done for us and all the sacrifices that they've made. I get overwhelmed with it, with emotion. And that's a big part for me. I read as much as I can about the culture. And when you talk about sacred smoke, like I would have never thought, I would have never put that together in my own head until you said it. And when I see those visions now, I can just inhale through my meditation, exhale, and feel like, okay, this is me giving back to you somehow, the Native Americans. This is me passing you and loving you and giving back to you. So
Yeah.
that's just where I'm at with it. I think very deeply, and I feel very deeply. So
Yes. Yeah. And I love
thank you
that
for all
how
you do. You
you've
don't know
talked
what
a
you
lot.
do, Erin, for all of
Yeah.
us.
You're helping you're
It's
thinking about the
important.
spirits and healing even in the past, and not just the past, but like the energetic past is also our future. It's what's happening right now too. So, oh my gosh, you just said so many beautiful things.
I'm sorry I talk so much.
No, no, not at all. Not at all. We all are keeping so much of this in ourselves, and then when we come into the circle, then oh my gosh,
Yeah,
we have people who can actually ascertain what we're saying.
absolutely. Absolutely. Because I've done crystal readings for my pendulum readings for so long for people and brought I hope, so much inner peace for them. But now that I have, the priestess circle, I'm working my way towards priestess. I am not there yet. I don't feel, I know I have the connection, but I look at the everything that I have to learn. And I'm like, I gotta just take this one step at a time. Everything's a
Mm.
learning process, and I want to know it before I take on that much of a responsibility to say, yes, this is me now. Because look at all the work that you've done in this program and where you've come with things, Aaron. You've worked your whole life towards this, and I don't want to pick up my my phone every day and just say, oh, okay, I'm a priestess, I'm a this, I'm a that. No, I respect it, and I have to learn it. And that's how you feel good about yourself, is when you take your time and you learn.
Yeah. Yeah, and some people say, "Well, I don't feel like a plant priestess," and like you said, but you are, you like you said, you've got more inner confidence, inner power about it, and that's really all that really means. That plant priestess part is that you're gonna give yourself enough time and to dedicate yourself to it. And if you feel like proclaiming it at some time, that's great too, but it's not necessary.
Right, right. Exactly. That's just what I mean. It's just not I feel that until I can successfully pull a root from whichever herb, whichever tree, whichever flower, wherever I am, when I can find that root of in that vein of that world, that flower, that tree, that herb, and I can pull that out and actually heal uh, through the tinctures, everything else that you're teaching me right now. Once I can successfully do a lot of that, I think I'll feel a little better. It's hard because it's winter right now, and I was so busy harvesting everything, and I was like, "Oh, look at me harvesting, doing as much as I can to just be a part of this and learn and learn." And I was trying to do it step by step, and I don't think there's anything wrong with taking your time and coming into your own.
Hmm.
You know, just taking your time and respecting the program. And then when you're ready to say, "Okay, I feel confident, and I'm gonna really and truly be able to say I'm a plant priestess," because I know I'm a green witch. I've been a green witch for my entire existence. Um, but this is definitely an honor to be a part of this program. And again, if anybody's wondering, should I? Believe me, I'm not a saleswoman. I mean, look at me. I get all nervous and anxious. I mean, but I'm telling you right now, this is the best place for me. It's the
Yeah,
best place.
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I
I love
I mean, this is the first I've heard of some of this. I know Lynn has shared a lot with me, but this is really great.
it. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Oh, it's great.
Thank you. No, I so appreciate it. And oh, last thing I'll say, if you're not techie out there, anybody thinking, oh, I'm not techie, I can't do it. I'm right here. I am not techie. Ask Erin. I'm like, where are you? How do I do this? What do I do? And she's always so patient. So, and my husband too, he's great. So just take your time with yourself and just breathe, because it'll all come into place. Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Lynn. Have a good day. Enjoy that rainstorm. I'm gonna sign you off here and teach everybody about winter wellness herbs.
All right. Love you all. Bye.